Hi everyone, welcome and welcome back to All Things Academic with Aerika, aka Professor Loyd. On this channel, we talk about academic lifestyle and planning for passion and productivity. Before we get started, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up because it helps the channel grow. So thanks for giving this video a thumbs up, and let's get into it. I'm going to be talking about what it was like to pay off my student loans. The day that I paid back my student loans, I went to the computer, I entered all of my information, I clicked submit, and then what happened was my loan company, which was the federal government, sent me a beautiful email, and they were like, "Congratulations, Aerika, on paying off all of your student loans." And then the sky opened up and cherubs came down from the sky and they were singing and playing harps, and they were like, "Congratulations, congratulations on paying back your student loans. We're so happy for you." And then gnomes came through the door and they were celebrating with me, and there were some unicorns, and the unicorns were prancing around. No, none of that happened. The truth is, what happened when I clicked submit on paying back my student loans, it accepted my payment and the balance said 0 and nothing happened. I never received an email, I never received a letter. Nothing happened when I paid back my student loans. And to this day, it's now been a couple years, I've been waiting for another bill to come in the mail, and I've been logging in to my portal to make sure that I don't still owe. Nope, my balance is still 0, but nothing happened. So it was very anticlimactic. I paid back my student loans, which were over $100,000 with interest included, and nothing happened. I'm going to be talking about what it was like paying back those student loans and some lessons that I learned from that process. In another video where I shared some tips on how to pay back student loans, I'll link it somewhere here. I'll link it up here. One thing that you should know the conditions of your loan. And this is really important because I did not know that my first student loan payment would actually be due 6 months after I stopped taking classes, not 6 months after graduation. So you might think that your first student loan payment will come 6 months after you graduate. And in my case, I defended in August, but I stopped taking classes in the spring. So what happened was I got my first student loan bill before I even got my first paycheck from my job. 6 months from the spring, I got my first bill in the mail, and at that point, I hadn't even gotten a paycheck. One thing that you want to think about is if you get that first bill and you weren't expecting it and you didn't know that it was going to come, or if you have trouble making that first payment, you can always defer your payments for financial hardship. That was the first lesson that I learned. The second lesson that I learned, in my other video, I talked about how I got a loan repayment program from the National Institutes of Health. And one thing that you should know about those types of loan repayment programs is that some of those programs can be considered taxable income or earned income. And I had no idea at the time that that would be considered in my income. So when I got the letter, I was so excited because it told me how much money they would pay back to my student loans. And the interesting thing about having your loans consolidated under the federal government and getting a loan repayment that is also sponsored by the government is, in my case, that money did not come to me. It went from one agency to the next. So I never actually received any money. They just paid it from one government office directly to the other, and I saw my balance decrease. And what happened was the very next year that I had to report taxes, I got a document in the mail that said how much I received in earned income, and I had to pay taxes on that repayment. So make sure that when you get that repayment, you meet with a tax person, or if you're really savvy with taxes, make sure you put some money aside to account for that earned income, because that was not something I was expecting. I thought that I got the full amount, but it is considered earned income. And so if you get a loan repayment program, make sure if the conditions of your loan repayment are that it's reported as earned income, that you put that money aside because those taxes will come for you later. What it was really like to pay back my student loans and what it was really like at the end, once I made that last payment, it was great because many years as I was paying back my student loans, I had people in my life that would say, "Why are you paying so much towards your student loans? Your income-based repayment is only half of what you're paying. Why are you paying so much back to your student loans? You're paying double what you actually have to pay. If you're under income-based repayment, you only have to pay this certain amount. Why are you paying so much?" And for me, I don't like owing people, so I just really wanted to get out of the burden of paying back those student loans, which just felt like this enormous boulder that I was carrying around. So I was really happy to make that last payment at the end, because for me, what it meant was freedom. Freedom to be able to help my family if they needed it, and to be able to help my community if by paying back that debt, I was able to give in ways that I wanted to give in the future. So I hope I shared something of value today. So the 3 lessons that I learned along my journey were to use deferment if you need it. So a lot of student loans are currently being deferred. Take advantage of those deferments if it'll help you get ahead. Think about taxes. If you are accepted into one of those loan repayment programs, you do want to know the conditions of those programs and if they are considered earned income, because if it is, you want to make sure that you put some money aside. And then the third is really just getting out from under that debt can just create this enormous sense of freedom and being able to help the people in our lives and being able to contribute in the ways that we want to contribute. So I hope I said something of value today. If you like this type of content, if you like talking about academic things, give this video a like, share it with a friend or colleague who is also needs some motivation to pay back their student loans or needs some information about paying back their student loans. Subscribe to join us on the journey, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye everyone.